Wait a minute. Okay. Apparently we're being recorded. Um, okay. So this program is administered by the Library of Congress and um, Kansas State Library. So let me emphasize that this program, this service is free. There's no charge for this service ever at any time. There's no cost to eligible readers, not even a fine for turning in a book late. It's totally free. And it's supported by federal and state programs and, where appropriate, local agencies. The National Library Service selects and produces full-length books and magazines in Braille and audio format. Regional and sub-regional or local libraries then distribute the materials to eligible borrowers. Reading materials and playback machines are sent free of charge and returned by mail free of charge using the Free Matter for the Blind and Physically Handicapped mail. The program originally began through an act of Congress in 1931 to serve just blind adults. The program expanded through the years to include, in 1952, children's books, and in 1962, music materials, and in 1968, it expanded its definition of physical impairments that prevented reading standard print. In other words, you do not have to be totally blind. You could be partially blind or have low vision or some other reason you couldn't read normally. So who is eligible for this program? Anyone that lives in the United States or an American citizen living abroad. You know how a lot of seniors retire and move overseas, but they're still eligible by virtue of their citizenship. So eligibility is for anyone unable to read or use standard printed materials as a result of a temporary or permanent visual or physical limitation. Most of our patrons have vision problems like cataracts or macular degeneration. But eligibility may also include individuals who are unable to hold the book or turn the book or sit up to read a book, or, I mean, there's a lot of reasons that you can be handicapped and need this service. So then there are people who are unable to read for an organic reason. And in my mind, to me, organic reason, unable to read, means they just don't know how to read. They've never learned how to read, maybe because they're intellectually disabled, or they weren't taught, or, there's some learning problem there. And it used to be that only a doctor could certify that as true, but they've recently reassessed that rule. And now those who can certify are doctors of medicine, eye doctor of any kind, a psychologist, a registered nurse, a therapist, professional staff of hospitals, institutions or public or welfare agencies, such as an educator, a social worker, a caseworker, a counselor, a rehabilitation teacher, reading specialist, school psychologist, superintendent, or librarian. So in other words, just about anybody can attest to someone else's ability to read. The reason Talking Books did this is because they just wanted to eliminate any barriers to enrollment for print disabled individuals, such as in order to have a doctor certify it, you'd have to make an appointment, go to the doctor's office, and have to pay for the doctor's office. It's cost prohibitive when you figure in transportation and appointment fees, and they didn't want that to be a barrier to somebody being able to read. And I know as librarians, you wouldn't want that either. I mean, we want everybody to be able to read. So what books do we have? Tens of thousands of books, including the latest bestsellers. And the books cover a wide range of topics and interests. They range from recent bestseller biographies, religious, Western, romance, mysteries, histories, That's just a few of the options there. There's tons of them. Anything that your public library has, Talking Books most likely has. So, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to get what it is you want to read. They learn of new books through a catalog. I'm showing the picture of the catalog there. It's called Talking Book Topics. And, it comes out every 2 months, and it has all the new books in it. And this one here, I don't know what month that's for, but like this one is November and December. So every 2 months it comes out and it tells you all the new books that we've added to our collection. And that goes to the patron every 2 months. If they don't want to do that, they can go on the internet and go to the online catalog. It contains all the books the same way that are put on there in the last 2 months. Oops. Wait a minute. Lost my place there. There. Okay. So we also have magazines. Dozens of magazines are offered in audio cassette and braille formats for all ages. The issues are mailed to the readers at about the same time the print issues appear to the general public. Some of the more popular magazine titles that people request might be Reader's Digest, Ladies' Home Journal, Good Housekeeping. As with books, there's no charge to receive any of these magazines. Some magazines need to be returned and some do not. You can usually tell if a magazine needs to be returned because the mail card that has your address on it, if you turn it over, it'll have the address of Emporia where it needs to be returned to. And if it has that, then it means you need to return it. If it doesn't have a return address on it, then you can keep it and dispose of it at your leisure. We also have music scores and books are also available and come directly from the music section of NLS. Some self-instructional cassettes for various instruments are also available, as well as braille and large print music scores and textbooks. The equipment, here's a picture of the Talking Books machine. This is the machine, and this is the cassette, and this is the holder that they mail it in. The cassettes are designed with a special play speed and cannot be played on a standard cassette player. A special playback machine is sent to patrons so they can play the borrowed cassettes. The Talking Book machine can play for up to 6 hours on one cassette, and the Talking Books machine battery operates for 6 hours if it's fully charged. The units are designed to be used with the battery. When the battery runs out, just plug it in till it's charged, and you can still listen while it's charging. And ideally, to help maintain the life of the battery, the machine should only be plugged in to recharge the battery when it gets low. You should never try to remove the battery from the machine yourself. If you have problems with the machine or the machine quits working, then give us a call. We'll just send you out a new machine. I do recommend that you keep the box that comes with the machine because in case you need to return the machine to us for repairs, you will have the box available and you will be easily able to return the machine using the free matter mail. So now I'm showing you the machine. I guess what I want to note here is that it has big finger-friendly buttons. You can see how big they are. You can fast forward it to a certain chapter of the book as there are special tones before each start of each chapter or section. You can also adjust the tone and speed of the narrator's voice. Like on a person that talks too fast, you can't understand what they're saying. Well, on the machine, there's two buttons. One, you can adjust the pitch and the timbre of the voice, and the other one, you can adjust the speed at which they're talking. So that's really important. I know that's an age thing, but sometimes you just can't understand somebody. So slowing them down or speeding them up or making their voice deeper or higher, you can get your perfect spot there. And you start by inserting the cassette braille side up, push it in until it clicks, press the red power button, press the green play stop key, adjust the volume, tone, or speed, and to stop, you press the play stop key. You can rewind it, fast forward it. Also headphones. I wanted to mention that. You can plug headphones into it. A lot of our customers, our clients, our patrons are in nursing homes, and so you wouldn't want to have a machine making a lot of noise in a place like that. So they have headphones they can plug in, so not to disturb others. And you can't see it on this picture, but this is a hollow spot where you store the cord. So it's convenient storage space. As far as the books and cassettes themselves, each talking book begins with the information about the book, such as number of pages, the author, the narrator, and what the book is about. Then the table of contents is listed, and after that, the contents of the book are read. If you don't want to hear all of that, then you just fast forward through it. Before ejecting the cassette, you have to make sure the tape is stopped. The machine will save your place where you stopped it at. If one of the tapes you receive is defective, we ask that you put a rubber band around it before you send it back to us. That way we'll know something is wrong with that particular tape. Let's say you had a large book that had 3 tapes, and then later you realize that you accidentally forgot to send one of the tapes back to us. In that case, all you need to do is put a rubber band around it and just send it back with the next round of tapes you return. That actually happens quite a bit, and it's not a big deal. Sticking a rubber band around it alerts us to something being wrong. So they would look for it then. Here's those address cards that I told you about. Material that would be returned comes with an address card. One side has your address on it, and the other side has our address on it. And you just flip it over and stick it in the mail. I mean, just literally stick it in your mailbox, and your mailman will take it, and it's free. No stamps, no nothing. Everything is free matter for the blind. So, material that will be, BARD. There we go. BARD, and this is my favorite part. Like Kindle and those apps where you can buy your book. Well, BARD is the same thing. It's Braille and reading and audio reading download. If you're signed up for Talking Books, then you automatically qualify for BARD. It's free. You can download your books to your iPhone, your Android, your Kindle, your thumb drive. It's the same. Anybody who's a citizen of the United States or a citizen living abroad is eligible for BARD. And it has tons of books. I mean, like even more books than Talking Books has. It's a huge amount of books. It can also get music, and you can download, like I said, to your Android, Kindle, or thumb drive. So you go to the doctor's office and you sit there waiting forever. You have your book with you right there on your phone. You'll never be without reading material again. So to get started with Talking Books, if you or someone you know is eligible for the free service, all that is required is to fill out an application and have it certified by a professional. And we already talked about that: eye doctor, librarian, social worker. Um, just about anybody can do that. Even me. If you didn't want to be a certifier, just fill it out and send it to me, and I'll be the certifier. Um, there's an internet address. I have or will provide an internet address. I think I might have skipped over that one, but I'll get it to you. And you can also email me, and I'll send your application in for you. I want to explain the app a little bit. Actually, the patron, this is really all that they have to fill out. It's just name, date of birth, street, city, county, telephone number. It's just not really anything. This is the page 2. They would put down here why they want a talking book, and most people are going to check visual impairment. And certification, this is where the doctor or the social worker or the librarian or myself would put our name and our telephone number in there. And this is a page where you select stuff that you want. Up here, this one says that you do not want to receive books that have violence, sex, or strong language. You can actually filter your books that way. They get the choice of talking books, selecting the books for them, or they can select their own book titles, or they can download their own materials. So any way you want to do it, most people put, please select books for me in the categories checked below. And here are the categories. I mean, these are just a fraction of the categories. There's a whole lot more. Or if you have like a favorite author or a subject, maybe like Clive Cussler, or you like sea adventures, then you would put that in here, and that's the kind of books that they would send you. So you're getting to choose how often you want them sent, how many are sent, like 2 a week, 10 a month, 1 a day. I mean, if you're a fast reader, you'll choose to receive the books more often. Any time frame you want, you'll never be without something to read. And how long does it take for an individual to start receiving the services? The goal of the library is to send the playback equipment within 3 working days of receiving a properly certified application. And individual shipments of books and catalogs is initially sent out within an additional 2 working days. So about 1 week to get your entire setup there so you can start listening. How are materials received and returned? We talked about that a little bit by flipping your card over to the address that you want it to go to and just handing it to a mailman, or stick it in your box, or throw it in a mailbox. It's free. The materials sent by a network library come with a removable address card. When turned over and reinserted, will show the library's name and address to return mailing. How are books selected? How are particular books selected become talking books? The National Library selects the same type of books that are available through your public library. So anything you would go into the library to get, you can get on talking books. Can people in the residential care facility or retirement home use this? Yes. We have a lot of patrons in residential care and retirement homes. They may receive this service in care of the facility they're in, which means the facility has the account, and they have the machine, and they have the books, or they can each individual can receive their own talking books machine. Most of my clients in nursing homes have their own, because not everybody likes to read the same thing. So the the nursing home will sometimes, get the books to have a group session, like a book club or a reading club. So um, each year, you only need to get one book. To remain active in the Talking Book service, you only need to check out one book or magazine a week. And Talking Books keeps track of what you've read so that you do not have to send the same books. So they do not send you the same books twice. You don't have to remember what you've already read because they're doing it for you. I had that problem just in a library. I thought, did I read that book? um, so some changes have been made to Talking Books. Um, we have what is called KLAS, KLAS. The sub-regional talking book libraries around the state have recently moved to a new online library catalog system known as KLAS. KLAS enables talking book patrons to request books using the internet. Patrons are not required to use the internet to request books. It's simply another option you can use in addition to calling or emailing book requests. It also can shorten the time it takes for a patron to receive a book. So let's say, for example, that Wichita does not have the book you want, but the Talking Books Library in Emporia does have the book. The book will be sent out from Emporia directly to you, and you will not have to be put on a waiting list. Like just like in your library, when you go in and you want the book and you have to put yourself on a list, so they can save the book for you. Well, you don't have to do that if you have KLAS. And all your books can be loaded onto one cartridge. It's called Duplication on Demand. This is especially convenient if you're reading a series of books in the order that they were written. Say you're reading the Bible, then on one cartridge, they could do a whole bunch of books of that Bible. You wouldn't have to have 10 cartridges sent to your house. You could have one cartridge with a bunch of books on it. So it makes it a whole lot more convenient. Or like if you wanted J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter, you could have all those Harry Potters put on one cartridge and just start reading them in the order that they were written. That's a whole lot easier. This is just an example of how the new system can improve the service for talking book patrons. And again, I want to emphasize that even though the patrons can request books via the internet, it is not required that they request them through the internet. You could still use the telephone to call me or Emporia or send requests by way of the mail, exactly as before. So Southeast Kansas Library System has a collection of fun and therapeutic services. I just want to tell you a little bit about that. We're off of talking books now. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our other special needs collection. We have Braille picture books, Bifocal Kits, Recreational Therapy, and large print books. I'll tell you a little bit more about large print books in a minute here. Braille books, we have a collection of pre-reading and beginning readers books for visually impaired children. This includes illustrations, printed text, and Braille equivalent. Music and textures are featured on many board books. Bifocal kits. This is just a picture of a Braille book. Okay, bifocal kits. These are made to stimulate memories for dementia or Alzheimer patients. There's usually a theme, like, for example, the 1950s. The kit will contain sights and sounds and maybe some smells that are associated with the 50s. They're pretty neat, scratch and sniffs. It might be the smell of a root beer float from A&W, things that would just jog your memory of, that time you went to A&W and had a float. Or the kit may be about farming with pictures of tractors and vegetables and songs that referencing farms, like Old MacDonald or just fun things that you would have done on your farm when you were younger. It just stimulates your memory. It's made to jog the memory. So we have, this is a picture of them. We have quite a few of these. We have recreational therapy aids such as sensory stimulating items like squeeze toys and fidget toys for children with autism. We have a large collection of videos and games and exercise aids. These items are for all age groups. They enhance individual or group activities. Low vision coordination, Alzheimer's, dementias, memory, and relaxation. Any of these items are available through checkout. We also have games such as Scrabble, Bingo, Chutes and Ladders, and they're all in large prints. So, I mean, you don't have to have vision problems. You could check those out anyway. And large print books. We have quite a few books. I get questions about large print books. I don't think we have a comprehensive list of all the large print books available or all the books that have been published. What we recommend that you do is, if you're interested in a large print book, is to go to or call your local library and request specific titles. And they can look them up and see whether these titles are available in large print. If they are available, they can request them for free through our interlibrary loan. So, I mean, that's how you get large print books is you get them through your local library. We have other things like genealogy, and you just stop in and check it out. You may be surprised. If you haven't been to a library in a long time, you may be surprised. And you may go to other libraries beside your own, see what they've got. Here is where I would like to say that I would like to add that I'm also available to do presentations on talking books and the special needs collection for any group that you think might have an interest. For example, if there's a group at your church that you think could benefit, or if you belong to a local club like Lions, Elks, VFW, or something like that would like a presentation, just let me know. The more I do, the better I'll get. This is my first one, so I'm not very good yet. I'll be glad to come out and do a presentation and answer questions, all free of charge. And I'm willing to Zoom, and hopefully I can get out and demonstrate books now that this COVID thing has let up. I will take questions from anyone that has any questions about talking books or the special needs collection. And please feel free to come into the Iowa Library and have a closer look at our items. Anybody, and I will come out and talk to you and show you whatever you need to know. And let me go back here and put that email address up for you. Did I hear? There you go. This is our address. That's my address, and that's the state library's address, either one you can get talking books from. And if you go to me, I can do it for you myself. I'll send you the application and you can send it back to me and I'll send it in for you. I'll authorize it for you, certify it for you. I'll do all the work for you. Here's my email. So.
Wanda, we do have one question that was on the chat. Yes, okay. on the chat that was sent earlier, but we wanted to wait till you were done.
Okay.
It is, how do we find the magazines? I think you answered this. Are they on the catalog? I didn't know these were available. So a couple of magazine questions.
I do believe they are.
Okay.
Audio magazines. Yep, here's an entire page of magazines in this catalog. And you can also go online and this catalog's printed online if you want to look at it there. But it's got, let me see what it says on here. People, Reader's Digest, Rolling Stone, Sports Illustrated, Jack and Jill, Humpty Dumpty, Ellery Queen. I mean, they have a real AARP. They have a real selection of magazines for anybody that wanted. Yes, you can get them through here. If you wanted to email me and ask me to send this to you, I could send you one by email.
Wanda, there was also a question, are there ads included in the magazines?
Ads like,
Well, most of a magazine is ads, so.
I can't answer that question. I've never seen one. I mean, I've never ordered a magazine for myself, but I will find that answer.
I'm pretty sure the answer on that is no, that because these are audio, they don't read the ads. I guess I don't know that for 100%.
That's a good question. Anybody else? Okay, I hope I didn't bore you to death. I promise to get better.
No, I think let's see if there's one in the chat here.
There's several more questions and comments.
Okay.
Yeah. Another question is one about Bard. How do we find that? Is that in the Google Play Store? Will it download to Google, Chromebooks?
This address that I have up here, kslib.info/talking. If you go to that page, Bard is on there. That's where you can sign up for Bard. But you have to be a Talking Book patron to start with. So the place to start would be by emailing me, and I'll send you an application, and you'll send it back to me. It doesn't take very long. Once you get into the Talking Book system, then you automatically are eligible for Bard, and this is the address for it right here.
Sarah had also mentioned earlier that her special education teachers have been using this for their students, and it's been very helpful. So that's
Awesome. Yeah.
beneficial to the school librarians.
I have a hard time expressing how wonderful this program is, how wonderful it is that people who have problems reading can access something like this so that they can read. I mean, I can't imagine my life without reading. And I wish I had known about it from my mother, because she is a reader, and I didn't know about this, and she didn't get to read in her last few years of her life. And I wish she had known. I wish we had known. So,
Wanda, how do the recordings from recorded books compare to, say, you go to the library and you check out an audiobook? What's the quality of the reading? Are they using actors, or is it just volunteers who are reading? What's the quality of the narration?
I think it's probably better than the audiobooks. They have a special group of people that do the reading, and they will tell you right on the audio book who's reading, and you'll develop your favorites too. They're very professional, and I think they're better than just the ones you pick out of your library, because that's all they do. That's what they do for a living, is read books.
Wanda,
Yes.
there is a Bard mobile app in Google Play. That's yes, there is, and it's looks like it's a free app.
Yeah, but I don't think it includes the selection that you would get if you're part of Talking Books. I mean, I don't quote me on that. I could be wrong, but I will ask about that. How about anybody other questions?
We have at least 5 more minutes if there's any more questions.
Did I take that long? I thought I was reading way too fast.
No, you were great. It was good. Yeah, it's really good.
If only I could have looked at the camera and read at the same time, it would have been perfect probably, huh?
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask about the Google Play thing. I'll ask about that. And what was the other question that I didn't know? Oh, the ads.
Mhm.
I'll ask about that too.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate you guys all listening to this. Thank you.
Yes, and we're going to, of course, have our business meeting, and we'll go back to Zoom 1, and at 11:30. Did I have 11:30 down here? Yeah, 11:30. So yeah, a little bit more, a little more time. We could go farther if you want, longer if you want to, but that's okay. It's up to you. But and this is being recorded, of course, and of course we can send out the PowerPoints to people. And of course, a lot of information, of course, is on our webpage. So well, thanks again, Wanda. Yeah, that was great.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thanks everybody for joining us, and we will see you soon.